At the beginning of the film, a girl is shown wearing a mask and was trying to steal a horse from corral. Then a boy named Robin comes to her and captures her. He asks her, "What were you doing here?" and also asks the girl's name. She says that my name is Marion, and when Marion removes her mask, as Robin sees her, Robin fell in love with her at first sight and Marion also started liking her. After it, they start living together and their life was going well. Then one day Robin gets a letter from the church and he will have to go to war for the church. He will have to fight against the Arabian. Now Robin was also ready to fight because he was a very good archer and knew how to shoot arrows well. But on the way, he tells Marion that you wait for me, I will definitely come back. Now when he was fighting against the Arabian, a man attacks him before he kills Robin. One of his companions saves him. Robin fought in this war for 2 years and had conquered the fort, but after the war, Robin's commander was killing his own people. When a child is brought here to kill, his father was also there and he says, "Leave my son. I am ready to tell you everything," but the commander does not listen to anything and tries to kill that man's son. But Robin couldn't see all this, that's why he attacks the commander, but the commander had ended that child. Robin is also caught there and an arrow is also attacked on him. Due to it, Robin becomes injured. Then we see Robin. He went to his house. After the war, when Robin comes back to his house, he sees that his house had turned into a ruin and he actually had come here to find Marion. He had left her here 2 years ago and promised her that he would definitely come back. Then he goes to the church's father, who was his friend, and he tells that we got the news that you died in the war. The sheriff here emptied your house and threw Marion out of the house, and now she lives outside this city near coal mine. Robin had now reached that city where he sees Marion in front of him. Before he goes to her, there was a man standing next to Marion with whom she was talking with a smile. He had understood that when Marion would have heard the news of his death, after it, she got married. Thinking this, Robin does not go to her. Robin did not know what to do now. When he starts going out, a man comes in front of him blocking his way. This was the same man Robin had tried to save his son, and he says, "Do you know the rich people here are getting very rich, and the poor people are getting poor?" Saying this, that man takes Robin with him. After which we see a sheriff, who was also the leader of this city, was telling everyone that we will have to save more tax for the war. Here Marion was also with her husband. Her husband says that we already give a lot of tax, but this does not affect the sheriff. Here, Marion had come to know that Robin is alive. She sees Robin was happy that Robin is alive, but somewhere she was also sad that today she is not with Robin, because she still loved Robin. There we see Robin, who was with that man whose son he had tried to save, and had told him everything about here. That man had now become Robin's friend and tells him that we will have to find out where the tax money comes from and where it is taken. Then Marion also comes there, who wanted to meet Robin. He goes to meet him. Robin's friend stops him and says, "No, you will not go. I don't want anyone to know about our plan," because he wanted Robin not to go back to his old life and help the people here. He now teaches him to shoot the arrow better. Robin's aim was good. His plan was that they will rob the government treasure, will steal it. Now he goes to the place where all the treasury tax money was kept. He attacks all the soldiers with his arrow and kills them, and then he goes to the place where everyone was paying tax. He pays the most tax there and did this so that he could win the trust of Sheriff and the people here. And this is what happens when Sheriff sees this. He gets impressed with Robin. When he was leaving, Marion came in front of him. He says to her, "Look, whatever was between us, everything is over." Saying this, his friend calls him. Robin left from there and robs more treasure and also keeps a bag outside Marion's house, because Marion also needed money. On the other hand, we are shown a man of Sheriff comes to him and tells him that someone is stealing the government treasure. Sheriff becomes worried to hear this and tells the man to put more soldiers on the guard of the treasure, so that the treasury cannot be stolen again. That man goes to Marion and tells her that the government treasure is being looted. Marion tells him that whoever is robbing the treasury, he wants to help the poor people. "And what is it to us? I want him to steal the treasure." Robin was also hiding there and listening to Marion. After which Robin loots the treasury again. And now he was distributing the treasury among the poor people. Robin's archery was good. He was an expert in aiming. People started considering him their hero, and he named him Robin Hood. Sheriff was upset with all this, that's why he arranges a meeting and calls Robin in it. Sheriff did not know that the one he was trusting was actually stealing his treasury. In the meeting, Sheriff tells Robin that now we will catch the thief at any cost. When Robin hears this, he goes to his friend and tells him that soon we will have to steal all the treasury. When all the treasury was being brought in a horse carriage, Robin's friend comes there on purpose, and Robin saw the opportunity and hung under it. The place where they were taking the treasury. A man saw Robin there. Everyone attacks him, but he was a good archer, so he kills everyone. Robin was wearing a mask. That's why no one could recognize him. While leaving, an arrow hit Robin's leg too, but somehow he gets out of here. In this way, Robin's life was saved. Now Robin and his friend know that the head of the church is coming and they are happy because they wanted him to come here. Sheriff also has a big party for the head of the church. In this party, Robin's friend also came who steals the keys from here and gives them to Marion. Actually, these were the keys of the place where the secret papers were kept. Marion goes there and takes those papers. On the other hand, when the head of the church was talking, Robin comes to him who had brought his friend father with him and says that this man has stolen the keys from one of you. Hearing this, Sheriff was going to kill him, but Robin says, No, don't kill him, but remove him from the church. This will be a big punishment for him. Sheriff also listens to him and removes father from the church. This was actually Robin's plan, that both of them should trust him, and it happens the same. These two now start talking in front of Robin. Robin finds out that he wants to kill the King of England and rule on everything. And for this he had also taken the help from the Arabians. Sheriff says to the head of the church that I will send my soldiers to the people who live outside the city. They will loot all the money they have. At night, Sheriff sends all his soldiers. On the other side, it is shown that the secret papers stolen by Marion. Her husband was looking at them and they find out that Sheriff and the head of the church want to kill the King of England. Marion says that all this is wrong. We will have to tell everyone, but Marion's husband says, what does it have to do with us? Actually, her husband also wanted to take the place of Sheriff. Means he wanted to become a sheriff. That's why Marion has a fight with her husband. Sheriff's soldiers had reached the city who were looting people. Here, when Marion stops them, they also catch her. Here Robin and his friend had also come. They had saved Marion. When Marion is with Robin, she recognizes him. When she removes Robin's mask, she had found out that this is Robin. Here the soldiers also attack their horse carriage and surround them. Robin's friend tells him to take Marion away. I will stop them, and he starts fighting with Sheriff's soldiers. But the soldiers had caught Robin's friend and he is presented in front of Sheriff. When Sheriff asks him about Robin Hood, who was the hero of the people, he doesn't tell anything to Sheriff. Outside, Marion's husband was telling everyone that we will have to go from here, but then Robin arrives, who removes his mask and shows everyone actually no one knew Robin. He told everyone about the plan of Sheriff and the head of the church. He says that we will have to fight with Sheriff. We will fight against oppression. Marion's husband also shakes hands with him. Then Robin goes to his friend father who was removed because of him. He apologizes to him and he tells him that Sheriff's treasure is going to arrive at the church in the morning. When they were taking the treasure in the morning, Robin attacks those soldiers with his people. There is a big explosion in it and the horse cart in which the treasure was going falls down. Robin's men were now collecting the treasure in the boat. Here, Robin was also hit by an arrow. Marion pulls out the arrow that her husband was watching her while doing this. He understood that there is something between these two. Before this, he says something, a man attacks him. And now Robin Hood tells his people to take the treasure in the forest from the water. After this, Marion comes to her husband, but he was angry with her and asks her to leave. There Robin sees that Sheriff's soldiers are killing his people. That's why he took off his mask and came in front of everyone. The Sheriff's soldiers caught him and took him to Sheriff, and Sheriff becomes furious to see him because he cheated him. He starts beating him, but here the Sheriff's soldiers and one of them attacks Sheriff because he was Robin's friend, who was wearing the clothes of soldiers. He was free. They attack the Sheriff and kill him and get out of here. Robin's people now had the treasure. There we are shown Marion's husband who wanted to become a sheriff. The head of the church had made him a sheriff. He gathers everyone and shows Robin's poster. He says that he is our enemy actually. He was instigating people against Robin. Robin was also seeing all this from a distance and shoots an arrow on his poster that was held by Marion's husband. It hits the wall, means Robin Hood had accepted his challenge, and that was to catch Robin Hood. Robin and his people had failed the plan of Sheriff and the head of the church. But Robin knew that it will happen again, but Robin was ready for all this. With this, the story of Robin Hood ends here.